Lethal Cosmetics reached out to me and asked if I would like to create one of my own custom palettes on their palette designer on their website, and they would send it out to me to try their product. And I was like, absolutely, I love that palette designer, let me at it. So today I'm going to show you the palette that I designed for myself from their palette designer and put it to the test, and we shall see what we think of it. So if that sounds interesting to you, let's go ahead and do the YouTubey things. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's zoom on in. And we're actually going to do desk view first and swatches and all that jazz, and then we'll create a look. As I mentioned, Lethal Cosmetics reached out to me and asked if I would like to create my own palette on their site, and they would send it to me, I guess, as PR. And I do have to admit, I think they were quite brilliant. Initially, when I was kind of talking to them what they wanted, I was kind of like, look, if you want that kind of a video, you are going to need to pay for it. I don't do like free content reviews. And then as soon as I said that, they turned around and they were like, oh, absolutely, no, totally respect that. Like, please just let us send you what you want. And if you like it and you want to show it in a video, go ahead. And if you don't, totally fine, declutter it, whatever. And I really respected that, because a lot of brands at that point will turn around and just go, okay, cool, see ya, bye. They just want to exploit a lot of creators, which I know to some people getting free product in exchange for a video sounds really cool, but honestly, videos can take 8 to 10 hours of time to put up, and as a creator, I personally would like to be valuing my time and what it's worth. This is the box that the palette and shadows came in. So it's got Lethal Cosmetics here, made in Berlin, proudly vegan and cruelty free. And I really value what this company stands for. Some of you may know, if you've been around here long enough, I have purchased from Lethal Cosmetics before. I actually made my own palettes a really long time ago now, back in 2020, and they're okay. They weren't like my super favorite formula. To be fair, the colors I got are pretty hard to formulate. The metallics I really liked, some of the shades I really liked, but I also think, and this isn't because they sent me free product, honestly, like you guys know, if I want something, I'll just buy it. I really don't have an issue with, like, being on a PR list is super lovely, but at the same time, I've said this over and over again, the trust that you guys have in me and my reviews and my opinion, granted, everyone's opinion is going to be different. I might love something, you might hate it, vice versa, because we are human, but I want you guys to know that at least the opinion that I am giving you is my true and genuine opinion, and not to be on a PR list or because it's sponsored, whatever. I want you guys to have faith in that. So if I don't like these shadows, I will tell you. I do think some of the reason, I haven't tried these a whole lot because, to be frank with you, apart from a couple of these, like these two, I love them, and I just forget sometimes that I have them in here, but these colors aren't also colors I'm going to wear a whole lot, even though I absolutely adore greens. I really went through like this Instagram kind of makeup phase, and that's what I got these for, and then I don't really do that anymore. So I also think that it's a combination of these shades are just not probably shades I'd reach for a lot anymore in my personal makeup collection. I definitely wasn't as skilled, let's call it, in makeup as I was when I got as I am now when I got these, and I think the pigments are probably a little bit harder to work for because of the shades. But in saying that, these are not something that I super reach for, but a lot of people love this brand, so it could just like I said, it could have been just at the time how I was feeling, whatever. I've only used these a handful of times. I will say though, even though I've kind of say all of that, the looks, if you go through my Instagram, the looks that I've used with these palettes turn out that stunning. It's actually not funny. Like, truly, they turn out impeccable. So I really wanted to give them another go though, because they have a heap of new shades that just call my name. You don't know, brands change formulas, they tweak formulas, all that kind of stuff. So opening this up, we have the Z palette that I'm going to put the single shadows in. This is how it always comes if you create like your own single palette. I would imagine it probably comes like this for all of their palettes, to be fair, but I can't answer to that because I've only ever done the custom palette designer. I'll just zoom you guys in touch. So this is the one that I chose. You can still pick this one up if you prefer it. I think they have a couple of other choices as well. I just really wanted this like sleek black kind of style. And then it comes with the little slots for you to pop them in and the little hole in the back to easily pop them out, and then you have a mirror here, and then it just says don't be afraid to color outside the lines. So yeah, I think I was also saying I really love what Lethal Cosmetics stand for, because I really do. They're vegan, they're cruelty free, but also when you read their website, they actually have a really big ethos around their people culture and their work culture, and I actually really appreciate that. As someone who works for a big corporation, nothing is more soul destroying than working for a corporation that doesn't care about its people. So and they're quite environmentally conscious as well. So everything that Lethal Cosmetics, and I've said this from day dot, whether or not how I feel about their shadows, I love everything about the company and what it stands for, and I've said that from day dot. These are all the single shadows that I'm trying not to give you guys too much of a sneak peek because we're going to unbox them together. So let's get into this. Now, as I mentioned, I went onto their custom palette designer. I'm going to insert a little screenshot of what that looks like here if you have never seen it before. It's incredible. I highly recommend just even going on and playing around with it and creating your own palettes, because it really, I do it from time to time, all the time, honestly, because it's such a cool function. And I wish that nearly every single website, imagine if Pat McGrath had something like that as well, like insane. It's such a really unique function that is, from what I know, unique to Lethal Cosmetics, and it is the funnest time you will have. I'm gonna unbox them and then organize them in the palette, and then we'll swatch them. So I think I might just actually do this a little bit like the speed through ASMR. I don't know if it is ASMR to you guys, but you know what I mean, to unbox them, and then when I swatch them, I'll say the names. Does that sound good? Let's do that. So these are all the shadows, and what I might actually do is I might actually swatch these out first, because I need to be able to, oh, I just damaged that one. I need to be able to swatch, I need to be able to, sorry, pick up the bottom pan to see what it is. So let me actually do that. I'm just gonna sit them on top of this little palette here so it doesn't keep dirty in my desk. So what I'm gonna do actually is organize these into the palette, and then I'll put them in order of this so that I know, in like order of these, so I know the shade names. I think that's gonna be the best way for me to do it. So yeah, let's do that. So an incredibly annoying news, I just totally realized that I filmed like me putting together this palette and everything and swatching it and doing all of that, and I wasn't recording. So I can't really redo all of that, and especially now the palette's been swatched and touched and dirtied up. Super, super annoying. I'm sorry guys, but this is the palette that I designed, and I'm going to insert a picture of what I designed online versus how it's kind of come in real life. And I know this is dirty and grotty. I'm so sorry. I really did film me putting all of these shadows in their place and all of that stuff, but yeah, my stupid self did not record. So anyway, now I've already done palette swatches. So this is what the eyeshadow palette looks like all swatched out for you guys. I actually really quite like the look of it so far. Let's do these individual hand swatches. So this one here is Calcination, and I picked this shadow from the collection to be my crease shade. I think you guys can tell this is quite similar to the crease shade I really love out of Subliminal. Isn't that stunning? It's like this cool tone crease shade. I adore it. This is exactly what I wanted it to be. I can't wait to try it. So yeah, this was just one of those shades that I saw that was like Subliminal, and I was like, yeah, here for it, give it to me. This next shadow, which you would have seen how cool it was before I swatched it if I was recording, but I don't know if you can still see how there's like little pink specks in here. It's called Mercredi, and it is super funky. And I mean, obviously it's got a cool tone pink silver with like, sorry, a cool tone silver, gunmetal silver with like pink specks, right up my alley. And then swatched out, it reminds me of the special shade from Pat McGrath Labs Moonlit Seduction. It really does. Probably like not as chunky, maybe not as dimensional, but it's more like even like a more everyday wearable kind of, I don't know, but it looks so wet look as well. I am so beyond impressed. This was not what I thought this shadow was gonna look like, but I am super excited that it does, because I'm gonna get a lot of use out of this for sure. And when I was creating the palette, I wanted something quite cool tone and something that I could see myself really getting a lot of use out of, but also something that was really quite unique to my collection. So I didn't want to just create like a neutral palette that I could wear every day, because I have so many neutral palettes. I really wanted to pick tones that would bring something quite unique to the collection. This next one here is Archetype. I just really liked it. I really liked the kind of vibe of it, I guess you could say. Just a beautiful kind of soft beigey pink matte shadow. Their mattes feel really creamy and buttery so far, which is lovely, and that just seems like, you know, the kind of shade that you can pop through your crease and really put any other shade with it and it's gonna look good. This one right here is called Lithium, and I just really liked that it was this like cool tony kind of bronzy silvery type color. Definitely more of like one of those, it actually really reminds me of Lucky Penny from Makeup Geek, but more bronzy. Very wet look. I'm into it. It's beautiful. Next up we have Lithophyte, which is one of the ones that I would probably change out because I don't know how much use I'll get out of this. I might be wrong. This is like a purple matte, and I thought from the website it was going to be more of a cool tone, like lighter purple, almost brown, but it's definitely come quite eggplanty purple, so I probably would switch this one out, but I do think it probably looks quite cohesive in the palette. But I just don't know how much use I'll get out of this. I just thought it was gonna be a bit different in real life. Next up is Evoke, which again, I thought this was gonna be a bit different. This seems like a real bubblegum pink, whereas the photo kind of looks like it's like a silvery pink. And so, but when you do swatch it out, it does have this like kind of duochrome shift to it. So yeah, see there? So it goes like silver there and then can go quite pink. So in the pan, it looks really different to what it is swatched out, which I'm grateful for because swatched out, this is exactly what I wanted it to be. It looks very, very pretty. Next up, we have Recluse, which is like this dirty martini olive type shade. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Like a olive in a dirty martini. That's what this reminds me of, and I just absolutely adore it. I love mustards, I love olives, I love greens. So when I saw this shade, I was like, absolutely. That even as a one and done, I'm just dying to wear it. Like perfect, and perfect shade for those of you going into that fall winter season. It's so grungy. I love it. I love it. Next up, we have Genesis, which I thought was gonna be not as bright a blue. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more, I don't know what I thought this was going to be, but I just definitely didn't think it was going to be such an aqua-y blue. But swatched out, it's really quite pretty. It's almost like a greeny gold. So I don't know, I feel like it's looking quite icy to you guys. But what I'm seeing is like this shift. You know when you swatch VR Fire Opal from Bronze Seduction from Pat and you get that green shift? That's what I'm seeing right now with a hint of blue, whereas I feel like you guys are seeing a blue and icy. So I'll try and get the greeny shift. Can you see that? But then even on camera, that looks even like it's got a slight purple tinge. This is a cool shade. So in the pan, this looks intimidating and kind of unwearable to me, but then swatched out, I'm like, oh, this is bringing something to the table. So this one is FRB, which I love this shade. This is like a goldy greeny shade. And it's gorgeous. I really like this. It's such a green, but I don't even know. I think it looks gold to you guys, but to me it looks neon green almost. I don't even think it's gonna pick the shift up on camera. It just seems to look gold in the monitor, but that's not what I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is like a green, and it looks amazing, like an alien green. It's really cool. This one is Circadian, just a beautiful kind of purple, gray, blue cool tone. This is exactly what I wanted it to be. Very pretty. I quite like this. This is a one and done as well. Really, really pretty. I'm into it. Next up we have Incarnate, which I thought was actually going to be more champagne-y. And it's come out pinky purpley. So it's quite interesting, but it's quite a unique, almost pink purple. Like a mauve, I guess, but I don't know if you can see that. So I don't mind it. I just didn't expect it to be so pink. On the website, it really looked like I was getting almost like a brown champagne. So, but yeah, it's not bad. And then lastly, we have Nocturnal, which is a really deep cool tone brown. And I picked this because I didn't want to add a black into the palette, but I wanted something that I could use to really deepen looks up. So I picked this one, which I thought would complement everything nicely. What we're gonna do now is put this palette to the test. So let's do it. I'm actually having a really hard time picking what I wanna use because I actually wanna use all of the shades. So I think the first shade I'm going to try is Recluse. Let's start with Recluse. This is a R104. We'll just start small and build. This is an R104 from WhatsApp, in case I didn't say that. And I'm just gonna build this through the crease. By the way, I keep getting breakouts at the moment, which I'm not quite sure what. Well, I do know why. I think I've mentioned already, I've got low iron. Which I finally got one of my iron transfusions. I have to have 2, but I finally got one of them this week, which was very exciting. So I'm hoping that might change my kind of health around and help my skin go back to normal. But does anyone have any tips for getting rid of scarring? Because I've got a heap of scarring. I can't take salicylic acid or anything like that. I don't want anything too aggressive. I would prefer something quite hydrating because my skin gets irritated really easily. So let me know in the comments if you have any ideas, pretty please. That actually is lovely. I'm not even just saying that. That's really nice. I'm really into that. I might zoom in just a little bit more. Ridiculously close if you ask me, but I really want to show you guys how these perform. So that's pretty though, right? I actually really like that. And that is a one and done. Oh yeah, especially those of you. Okay, imagine this shade, right, as a one and done on the lid. So you just pack it now on all the lid, and then wearing like a deep orange lip. Or like one of those pumpkin spice lips. Yep, you're gonna look real good for fall. I'm gonna pick up an R105 brush, and I really want to try this one, but I think it might be too light, seeing as I went in with Recluse. So I might go into the purple, actually, this one right here. I might go into this shade. I'm just gonna use this to define the outer corner a little bit, and I think it won't be so purple on top of this Recluse shade. The Recluse shade underneath this purple will turn it quite a little bit more grungy, which is what I want. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but this shadow's gone quite brown and cool tone with that Recluse shade, which is exactly what I wanted. Yeah, I really like the way these are performing. I really, really do, genuinely. I'm gonna go into my Pat McGrath Labs Intensify stick now. I'm just gonna pick it up on a flat shader brush first. And then I'm just going to lay this down 3/4 of the lid. I'm just gonna use that same brush that I used for the Intensifies then, and I'm actually gonna dip into Mercredi because I can't not use this shade today. It's so nice. It's so nice. So I'm gonna start by using this on the outer corner here. The metallics are quite crumbly, so you just wanna be mindful. I would recommend doing my eyes first for sure. Or if you're not gonna do your eyes first, sorry, make sure you use a glitter glue. I'm just taking this on the outer corner here. This is stunning though. I really like this shade. That is beautiful. I don't know if you guys can even tell the dimension that this is offering on camera, but in real life it's just gorgeous. It's like an oil, I love it. It's like an oil slick with some shifts to it. I'm here for it. I'm gonna take my Rephr number 28 now, which is just a flat brush, and I have to dip into this green. We know I do. We know I do. And I'm gonna pop that in the inner bit here. Definitely looks more gold straight on, and I feel like on camera, but in real life it's, I don't know, it just swatches more green, which is quite interesting. But I quite like it. It's like one of those kind of metally, real rust metally colors. So I'm quite into it. And these are actually laying down really pigmented, really lovely. I actually think this formula's changed a bit because these really are performing like genuinely like Natasha Denona shadows. I'm not just saying that because I got this palette for free or anything, you guys. I was fully prepared to be like, oh, I'm not sure. But these are so easy. Like, I feel like you guys can just see from the video how I feel like I don't need to explain that. I feel like the demo just shows it. They're really nice. I am very impressed. I'd be interested to know, I should ask the lovely lady that I have been in contact with if their formula has changed at all, because this is like truly divine. I'm just picking up that Rephr 14 with the dark brown, and I'll just marry the outer corner a little bit here. What do you guys think? I love this. I mean, this is a very me look. For those of you that have been around here for a while, you're like, oh, she's in heaven right now. And you are correct. I'm really excited. I wasn't going to do this in this video, but I'm going to actually do 2 looks for this video because I really want to try this one. And I'm loving the way that this performed that much that I want to play with it again immediately. So I will go ahead and do the speed through of my base makeup. I know you guys love seeing that. We'll do lips and everything and lower lash line and all that jazz. And then I think we'll do another look. So let's do it all. Let's go ahead and do the lower lash line and all that jazz. For the lower lash line, I'm going to go into Recluse again. This is just a Sephora Precision Shadow Brush. And I'll just run this underneath the lower lash line. And then I'm just taking a little Rephr pencil brush and I'm just going to go into the brown. And I'll deepen this up. Inner corner, I feel like I have not put an inner corner shade in here, but I might go into the pink. I feel like that might work okay. Yeah, because the pink's kind of icy, so it's gonna work really well. Yeah, that's pretty. Wow, I'm that impressed, it's not even funny. I would put some eyeliner on, but I am gonna wash this off and create a second look, so it's just gonna make it more irritating on my eyes. So I'm just gonna put my Ilia mascara on quickly. I feel like the only good option for lips here is my Natasha Denona My Dream lip liner and lipstick. So let me apply that. Perfect. So I'm gonna go and put my hair topper on. If you're new around here, I suffer from hair loss and wear alternative hair. And then we're gonna zoom out and see the finished look, so 2 seconds. All right, so this is the finished look 1 using the Letho Cosmetics palette that I created, which I mean, it's kind of cool creating your own palette, right? I still love that palette designer. I just love it so much. I feel like I'm gonna go on after this and create another one, I'm not gonna lie. But this is look 1, so I'm gonna go wash this off and then we are going to create another look because I just have to. I'm just having so much fun, I'm not gonna lie. Fun fact, I am filming this well over a week after I filmed look number 1. I've even got my wig on instead of my hair topper today. It's a different day because you've actually already seen this look in videos, and the reason why I'm refilming this, I'm gonna refilm the exact same look, is because I was so spacey, as you can probably tell from part 1 of this video, on the day that I filmed it. And for the second look, I actually didn't hit record for like the sparkle part, the metallic part, the fun part of the look. And originally I was like, I'm sorry, like, you know, I use this shade, blah, blah, blah. But the feedback that I've gotten on the videos that you guys have seen where I'm already wearing this look is like, you're obsessed with it as much as I am. And I'm like, you're gonna get so upset if I don't actually show you how I, like, me applying the metallic so you can see it in like, you know, on the, in action, I guess. So we're gonna recreate this look today together because it does need its own little moment. I'm obsessed with it. I've already primed my lids using my Rare Beauty eye primer. I've got my Rephr number 16 and we're gonna dip into this beautiful taupey shade right here. Don't worry, this brush looks dirty. It's not, it's just stained. So I'm gonna try and get this look to look as good as it did the first time. I'm worried I'm not gonna be able to like recreate it as good. This palette, I'm just in love, you guys. I love it so much. It's incredible. So, you know, it could also be that it's a like color story I'm really vibing with, but also the formula. I just find this formula is delightful. So I don't know what's changed, if their formula has changed or what, but yeah, I really am in love. I really am. So I'm just swirling this into the outer corner and fluffing it through the crease and packing it onto the outer corner, just like you've seen me do a heap of times. I've got a Rephr number 14 now, and I'm gonna dip into this beautiful like bluey gray. It's like a blue gray, and it's just absolutely gorgeous on the eyes. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be so beautiful. Like, the way that this look turned out the other week, I really was not expecting it to be as beautiful as what it was. I really wasn't. So I'm just starting by packing this onto the outer corner here, and like, look at that color. Because it looks like in the pan it's going to be a lot more blue than what it is on the eyes. On the eyes it's really, really wearable, at least for me. Very stunning. Going into my Pat McGrath Labs Intensifiers, I'm just picking it up on a little flat shader brush. And I'm just going to pop this like 3/4 over the lid. We're gonna go into this shadow right here now. And this looks so blue in the palette, which I think you've already seen this swatched out. So you know it's not as blue swatched out. But when I put this on the eye, I mean, oh, wow, this has got to be one of the most stunning eyeshadows I've ever come across in my entire life. I'm not even kidding. So let's go ahead. I'm just taking this on a Delium Tools 773 and let's just pat this everywhere we put the intensifiers. But look at the just utter dimension. Oh, it does not look wearable almost in the pan, right? Like it just looks like this absolute baby blue, aqua blue kind of shadow. And then look at that on the eye. I just want to bathe in this. I honestly think this is one of the best eyeshadows I have ever used ever in my entire life. The dimension on this shadow, I've never, even compared to a pat shadow, I've never seen anything like this dimension. And for this to just look so blue in the pan and then have this just stunning like shadow on the eyes and have it be so wearable. Just remarkable. I don't know how well it translates to camera. I feel like it translated pretty well because so many of you commented on my, I'll try and remember which video it was that I had the original look. I'll link it down below. But yeah, it's just amazing. So I'm gonna go off camera now just to save some time on this video. I'm sure it's already super long, and do the rest of my makeup, and then we'll come back and we'll wrap this up. So just a jiffy. This is the finished look. Now I didn't even end up putting anything on my lower lash line actually. I completely forgot. But in the original look, I just smoked the blue shade out on the lower lash line, so that's fine. I'm just gonna leave that. And then I did put this Kaleidos like multi-chrome liner in the shade C Sparkle on my lower waterline and Ilium mascara. And you know I'm wearing the Natasha Denona My Dream Lip Trio because that's all I seem to wear. This shade, you guys, wow. Like truly wow. I have never come across anything like it, but I just am really impressed. I mean, I love the color story of this. Clearly, because I personally designed it from their palette designer, but the quality is really beautiful and the dimension that these shadows provide on the eyes is stunning. The mattes blend out beautifully. I don't know if they've changed their formula, but I'm head over heels in love. Truly. I promise you, I love it. I just love it. And I'm like, I feel like this look speaks for itself. I really do. And the first look, it was beautiful as well. It's just, it was a couple of weeks ago now and I can't remember what it was. Let me know your thoughts down below. Have you tried Lethal Cosmetics before? Are they on your list to try? They also do a Black Friday sale, so just keep that in mind. I'll link everything down below for you guys, just like I normally do. If you shot through the link from it, down below, I'm pretty certain it is affiliated, but I'll leave it down there anyway, just in case. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. Now, if you're watching till this point, you're an absolute legend. I feel like this video was a little bit chaotic. It's not normally this chaotic, but here we are. But if you're watching till this point, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so, so much. Truly appreciate it. If you haven't already, pretty please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. It helps my channel out so much and I appreciate it. And other than that, I hope you have the most amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Bye.